Hi everyone, welcome to episode 7 of the Orange Thumbstick podcast. My name's Dave, and as always I'm joined by Bobby and Russ. How you doing, guys? You alright?
All good, mate, thank you.
Yeah, not bad.
Good. So yeah, E3 has just happened. We're going to be covering the Xbox E3 show, going through a few things. The main one being that they've revealed the brand new console. So first of all, what did you guys think of the console itself? Did you like the look of it?
Yeah, I mean, if you remember back a couple of episodes ago, I did say it'd look similar to the S, and I was correct. I also said it'd be as small as the S. I was incorrect there because it's even smaller than the S. So,
yeah,
I'll take credit for being correct with them.
It's confusing because you said S there, and I thought you said X. And I keep calling it the Scorpio, just so that I know what I'm talking about. It's confusing calling it the X to me.
That's just because you're you, mate. That's all that is.
Yeah, it is. I'm special, kind of special, mate.
Yeah, so for everybody that may not know yet, they've named the console the Xbox One X, and I do believe that name was brought up in a previous podcast, and I can't remember who said it. I know it wasn't me, but I can't remember who it was out of you two that actually sort of said it was going to be called the Xbox One X.
It'll probably be me because I was right about the other two things.
I'm sure it was me, but I just didn't want to blow my own trumpet when I was asking the question earlier. I wanted you to say, yes, Bobby, it was you. But I'm going to have to go back and listen to find out. I really am going to have to go back and listen.
Yeah, so Xbox One X, what do you think of the name, honestly? Did you think that was going to go with that?
It suits, it fits in.
It does,
with them going Xbox One, Xbox One S, the X just fits. Personally, I preferred the name Scorpio. I think if they called it Xbox One Scorpio, that would have been spot on. But I'm not going to cry about Xbox One X. It's fine to me. But you're going to get loads of people out there who are going to cry.
The family of the name, though, doesn't it? You know, like you said there, Xbox One S for the small version of the console. Yeah. The X is if you like, the extra large version of the console. Small. Well, it's as in with regards to the power and that. It's 40% more powerful than any other console.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that they didn't go with Scorpio, to be honest. With the amount of mentions and the amount that it was in marketing and everything, I was surprised that they didn't go with the name Scorpio. But I agree with you too. I think the Xbox One X, as you said, Russ, it fits in with the family, fits in with the S, the slim console. And the fact that it's smaller than that machine is pretty phenomenal, to be honest, with the tech that's inside there. But it's sexy. I think it looks sexy. Don't you reckon?
Was the Xbox One X designed by Rockstar by any chance? Not Rockstar. Was it pronounced Rockstar that you're the fanboy of?
Here we go.
Was it designed by Rockstar? It's just when he said sexy there. He said sexy, and I just thought, is it Rockstar? Is it?
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Bobby fails, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he does.
It does look good, though, doesn't it? I mean, let's be honest, it looks stylish for a console.
It does. I
a little bit confused.
Well, I noticed that because the previous images of it from when it was first ever mentioned this console was coming, and they're showing off bits and pieces of the inside, it did look like the disc tray was going to be on the right-hand side of the console as you looked at it. And we did mention this before. Yeah. But they've changed it. It's same position, left side, but it's on the bottom part of the console.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. It's confused as that they've put it there. I don't know. Talking as a dum-dum, as we all know I am, if it's on the bottom and if it's underneath the lip, you're going to get like idiots who are going to put the disc in upside down and scratch it. That was my first thoughts when I seen it.
That's just you.
That's just, I'm an idiot, you know.
You.
I don't know if you've noticed, though, it sticks out very slightly, the top bit on the left-hand side. Yeah, if you look at the console front on, from the base, it sticks out, the top bit sticks out very, very slightly. I didn't notice it when I first saw it, but looking at images, it's very, very subtle.
Mm-hmm.
I like the colour as well. I was a bit worried that they were going to go with the white as they did with the S, but I'm glad they've stuck to the sort of black stroke space grey kind of colour.
Yeah.
I'm chuffed about that.
Well, maybe that's there as a distinguishing feature that the S's are going to be white as standard. the X is going to be black as standard. So to look
Yeah.
at, to have that defining look, because they are similar in shape and size,
Yeah.
you can tell just by looking
Yeah.
at the colour.
And it kind of fits in with the 360 as well, because you had the 360 Arcade and Premium, and then you had the Elite, which was black, which
Yes.
kind of separated it from
That's
the other
correct.
two, didn't you? So, kind of gone with that vibe a little bit. So the release date was announced as the 7th of November. I'm a little surprised by that. I actually said to you guys off air that I felt Shadow of War was delayed to maybe coincide with the release date. There was loads of code messages in the adverts that were suggesting a sort of 10th to 13th of October window. Are you surprised by the release? Did you think it would be earlier?
I thought, I thought October or November, as long as it was before Christmas, which it was obvious it was going to be. They weren't going to bring it out at the start of December. The window that I had was, like you said, from the 10th to 13th of October to the 10th to 13th of November. November was the window that I give it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't extremely surprised. I was a little bit that they didn't go with October, simply so they had a few extra months on the run up to Christmas to get maybe more sales out of it. Yeah, I mean, it didn't hit as hard.
What about you, Russ? Are you surprised, or did you expect it around about then?
Not surprised, no. Probably expected
Okay.
it around about then. Yeah, it's not shocked me.
I just
anyway.
thought they might. Yeah, I thought they might have released it a little bit earlier than they've released consoles traditionally, because of they obviously had a massive emphasis on the 4K aspect of things, that titles would look better, third-party titles would look better and play better on that machine compared to others, and I thought they'd try and get it out within a window, sort of in between Destiny and Call of Duty maybe. It's coming out after Call of Duty, so I'm hoping that people will stick to their guns and decide to buy the X to play those games, because they will look better at the end of the day.
But between now and then, though, they could quite easily come up with bundles, for release bundles for those games
that's
being
true.
included. There's nothing saying that it's only going to be released as a console only. There's bound to be bundles coming for it. And as we've known in the past, there's always been a Call of Duty bundle with an Xbox console.
They won't be able
the
to do
Forza
that
one.
this time, though,
Oh
will
yeah,
they?
because of the marketing rights from.
Yeah.
Well, Forza would definitely be one. There'll always be a
Yeah,
Forza
definitely.
release console bundle. We'll see them.
I can see them doing maybe a dual Forza bundle with Forza 7 and Horizon 3 maybe,
Possible.
to promote the upgrade for Horizon 3, which we'll talk about sort of later on. But sticking with bundles and everything, everyone's gone crazy over the price. I don't quite understand why. I think it's a good price, considering what you're getting in the box. What do you guys make of it? So they've announced the price in pounds as £449 and $499. So what do you reckon to that?
I've already had this discussion on Twitter, and it is quite a heated discussion. For me, if you don't understand what's inside the console, then you have every right to think it's too expensive. But you shouldn't then be making that assumption that it's too expensive. You need to learn what the console is about, what it's aimed at, and then realise that for what you're getting, it's a bargain in my eyes. You build a PC of that spec for the same money. I challenge anybody to do that. That's everything from the liquid cooled system for keeping it cooled down. Everything, every single aspect that's inside that console, you build a PC, exactly the same specs for the same price, and I'll eat my own bum hairs.
Well, I mean, oh dear.
Yeah, like was said, people are crying about it, but you've got to look at it this way. If you want to cry over the price, it's not like they've just released a new console which is going to have standalone games and things like that. If you're not happy with the price of it, go buy an Xbox One or an Xbox One S. You can still play the same games, they're just not going to be 4K.
They're not going to look as good either, are they? They're not going to look as good either. I mean, yeah.
But you've got to look at it from the other perspective. You get what you pay for, so if you're more concerned about the price, then you can't say that you're concerned about how good it's going to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also go back
I'm saying this when it's only 450 quid. It's not like it's £1,000 or £3,000 or something stupid like that. It's 450 quid. I remember spending 330 quid on an Xbox 360, which was the Halo Reach console when that came out. Yes, it came with an extra controller, but that was 330 beans. And there's like, what, 120 quid difference? And if you look at the tech upgrade, and I didn't see anybody crying back then. So,
well, I think Russ raised a good point on Twitter the other day when you said, Russ, about the Xbox One released at 429. You know, so when you consider that was like nearly 4 years ago, and when you consider the machine that you're getting now for 20 quid more, it's nothing really, is it? Let's be honest.
No, and the point I made on Twitter as well was people were moaning about again the price. It's not much different to what you've already got. But then I went on Argos. For those of you that don't know Argos, it's a catalogue outlet shop in the UK, and I got two TVs up. Both of them 55-inch Ultra HD TVs. One was 600 and something quid, and the other one was 1,600 quid. Now, on paper, they're both the same TV, 55-inch Ultra HD. So what is the difference? The difference there is obviously what is inside, the quality of the product, what your screen's going to look like, the performance, all that lag input and all that business to do with 4K TVs. That's what you've got to look at with a product that is premium. You've got to pay more for it.
Yeah. Completely agree. I think it's a great price. It could have been a lot more, and like you said earlier on, Russ, you know, to build a PC of that spec, I reckon would probably cost you double that price, if not a little bit more. So
easy.
When you look at it like that, it's a pretty good price, and there will be bundles. You know,
you've got that as well. It's going to cost you twice as much to build the PC, but then you've still got to maintain that PC to keep up to date with all the games that it's going to be playing. You know, you've got to maintain a PC afterwards. Yeah. The Xbox One X is going to be as is. There's no extra add-ons you're going to need to buy for it or upgrades or anything, and it's going to outlast the lifespan of your standard console 4 or 5 years. It's sort of future-proofed in a sense. It's going to, I reckon, it's going to have a good 10-year lifespan on it before they need to do anything else.
Yeah.
They obviously bring a new console out before then, but it will definitely be able to keep up, in my opinion, for a good 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll bring out the Xbox One XS, which will be the slim version of the X, and it'll be like the size of a mobile phone. I'm calling it in 6 years' time. That's what's going to happen.
Bobby fails, everybody.
Okay, moving on. So yeah, we all agree that the price is fair, and you know there will be bundles. You know, I'm sure a couple of extra quid on top of that. You know, Forza Horizon 3 and Forza 7 bundle for maybe 500 quid or something like that. But it's worth noting as well that anybody that's got charge and play kits, anybody that's already got an external hard drive, you know, all of this stuff, all of the accessories, extra accessories you've got for your Xbox One, are all going to be compatible with the Xbox One
even
X.
Down to the leads and wires as well. They said everything is you're going to be able to easily strip out your Xbox One S, leave all your wires hanging behind from your TV, plunk your X down and plug it straight in, and it'll work straight away.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it looks great. It really does look great. It looks better than I thought it would. Very similar to the dev kit that we've spoken about off air before.
Is probably
the only, like the look of
the only
downside
is, like we mentioned when we spoke the other day, is we would like that LED display to stay on, because I've actually seen the dev console where it had the Assassin's Creed Origins logo on that LED screen, and just for something like that, you know, just have what game you're playing come up on that LED screen would have been a nice little touch. Yeah. But for me, that's the only a little more luxury that we didn't get, but you can't complain.
And it's worth noting as well, it is a UHD Blu-ray optical drive in there as well.
Yeah.
So you know, you can buy 4K films and watch them and stuff like that. You know, it's little things extra that people aren't really considering. You know, they're going to compare it to the PS4 Pro, but the Xbox One X is a lot more powerful. It's got more RAM. You know, it's got a faster processor. It's got a 4K UHD optical drive. So when you consider all of that, $449 is a fair price, I think. So after we've discussed the machine, so it's all down to the games now. What did you make of what they showed, exclusive and third party? What were your impressions?
See, a lot of people have said that there were, that they didn't think there was much cop. This is what I've seen on Twitter, that there wasn't much cop of everything that was announced. And when I was watching it live, I was pretty much blown away by some of the things I've seen. Crackdown 3, Forza 7, Forza, you know what I mean. Sea of Thieves, Battlegrounds, State of Decay, Assassin's Creed Origins, Metro, and Anthem. All of them fantastic games, and those are exclusives. I think some of them are launch exclusives, but they're all still technically an exclusive. And there's 22 of them in all. It's like, what more do people want?
Yeah,
Everyone's crying about exclusives and stuff, and we've got 22 of them. Even though some of them might just be release exclusives, we still get an exclusive for a set amount of time. I don't really know what everyone expected on top of that.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins Metro Exodus, and Anthem have all got marketing rights, so they're multi-platform, but basically Xbox have got the advertising rights and everything for those games. But the first-party exclusives, I mean, Forza 7 looks stunning in 4K. Mm-hmm. I watched it in 4K and it looked phenomenal. That game is it's going to sell no matter what. But the fact that you'll have it in, I mean, they've said 4K and 60 frames per second and a solid 60 frames as well. That's going to be pretty phenomenal, to be honest. Crackdown 3, I like the look of it, but I don't think they showed enough of it. I don't know about what you two fellas think about it, but
yeah,
I like.
If you remember back
3, but
to when we first speculated about what we was going to expect to see at E3, I did say that I expected them to use Crackdown to showcase the power of the console by blowing up the city everywhere, and they didn't do that.
Destruction. Yeah. A little disappointing, but from what we saw, I think it looks good. The big one, which I spoke to you, Bob, off air beforehand about, is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Now, not a lot of people are going to know about this game, but it's huge for streamers. I mean, anybody that plays that game, that streams it, it gets thousands and thousands of viewers. It's absolutely huge, and I think it's a very how can I say? It's a massive coup for Xbox to have that as a console exclusive, and I don't think people quite understand how big it is to have Battlegrounds as an exclusive on that machine. I don't know if you know much about it, Russ.
It's a popular battle royale game, is it not, on the PC?
Third person. It's massive on Steam.
From putting it into a perspective, I understand it's because DayZ started all this battle royale thing, didn't it? With its it was like a mod of Arma, whatever it was. This looks like the best version of any of those iterations of the genre as a third-person game, because there is first-person versions of battle royale. Obviously, we've already got the Culling. It's had a bit of a wobbly start, but plays nice when you can get into a game.
Yeah.
So it is a good good title to get as a console exclusive.
I've had PC gamers come to us and tell us about it, and I mentioned that I knew it was coming, and they've said, like, look, just get on it. You'll know what we mean when you start playing it. But personally, all I'd seen is emails land in my inbox saying that it was coming at some point, but it was all kind of up in the air with everything. And then when I seen it on at E3, I was like, holy crap, this is something I need to get my head around. I mean, in previous podcasts I've harped on about the other 99, which is another kind of similar game like that, and I'm really excited for that. But Battlegrounds just looks like it's going to just blow them all out the water, including like we've just had the Cullen drop. I know it's in preview, but we've just had the Cullen. That's another one, and I think when PlayerUnknown Battleground gets ya, it's going to just dominate all of them by a country mile.
Yeah, it's 100 players on one map, and you're dropped in there with just a pistol, aren't you? And it's a case of scavenging and surviving and taking out the other players. That's basically what it is. But it looked really, really good, and I think that's going to be a bit of a dark horse. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that once they see what it's about. Sea of Thieves. What do you guys make of that?
Russ, you were talking to us when it was on, weren't you, about when you jumped underwater and had
because
and stuff.
We've been involved. I'm being careful here because I still don't know what the NDA covers with us being involved in the alpha. But what was shown,
just go with just go with what you saw at E3 and
well, yeah, what
from
we're
there,
showing is definitely a lot more than what we've been able to play. I can see
seen.
this than what we've seen. Is a
Yeah.
lot
Yeah,
more
you
has
can.
been shown.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to it with regards to the adventuring side of things. I mean, that bit where you've got the riddle and you can go off. I like that aspect of it. I was quite. What's the word I'm looking for? I thought it was quite hilarious. That
Cannons?
you can climb in the cannon and fire yourself across to another boat and onto land and stuff. Another little thing that we didn't know about that was quite funny. Yeah, it's it's going to be an alright game if they get it right. A lot of people are asking for it to come to preview program though. I think they're being overly cautious with the release of the game. It's slow progress of the way it's going and all the betas and alphas and stuff. A lot of gamers are saying let it come out as preview program first.
But I'm all for that.
That's
If they want to take time to get that game right, I'm all for that. I mean, here we go. I'm going to talk about Rockstar again, and Bobby's going to get all excited. But
Hey.
when they delayed Red Dead Redemption, I was all for that, because if that extra 6 months means that they're going to get a much better product and a much more polished product, then I'm all for that, because I'd rather them do that than release a game that they're not 100% happy with, that's going to be buggy or it's going to have issues and whatever. And Sea of Thieves is no different. It's predominantly an online-only game.
Yeah, and then if it was to come out and be buggy and it had fall into the same trap as Friday the 13th had just a few weeks back,
Yeah.
a massive disaster of a release, which is a shame because the core game idea is excellent. But releasing it in the state that it was released in was damaging for the game. A lot of people got refunds, and I mean we haven't been back to it since. We're quite lucky on the Xbox that we were able to party up and get into a game that way. But on other platforms, people haven't got that, searching for parties and sort of thing and joining up with people. They've had to go on forums and a bit more extended. Whereas, for example, on the club on Xbox, we had a massive influx of people looking for people to play Friday the 13th with, and it worked that way, but at the end of the day it was still a massive disaster. So yeah, it could fall foul that way. If it was released way too early and there was a massive server crash, it would kill the game.
Yeah, and people would start moaning saying it shouldn't have been released and this, that and the other.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's Rare know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Another exclusive, which I believe we're all a fan of the first game, State of Decay 2.
Yep.
I enjoyed the first one. The first one was buggy, don't get me wrong, but it was fun. What did you make of what was shown? Because last year they only really showed us sort of like an FMV sequence, didn't they? But this year we saw some gameplay. What were your impressions?
I missed some
I think
of
it
it.
looked great.
From what I saw, yeah, it looked good. Definitely, the multiplayer aspect is going to make that game even better. As I remember right, the original was supposed to have multiplayer, but for some reason it never made it into the game.
Yeah.
To see.
I never checked it out because I waited for that. You told us when we got it, it was meant to come as an update, the multiplayer side, and I was like, oh well, I'll just wait for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't come out, so I never actually got the. I played a little bit of it, and then I just waited, and it just didn't happen. So I'm extremely excited about State of Decay 2, simply because I want to get partied up. I want to get in it and I want to go wild, and I'm hoping
When he
hoping
says
it brings
wild,
it to the table.
he means run away screaming from zombies.
Yeah.
Pretty much, basically. I'll run I'll leave you two to fight.
I think with the first game, it wasn't a case of that they didn't want to do it. I think it was a case of they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I think that simply the engine and the
Just wasn't capable.
the capabilities of the game. Yeah.
But again, that's a
allow
good
it,
thing.
and
Leave it out rather than they could have quite easily
Yeah.
said, "Oh, let's just shoehorn it in. It's going to be a really bad experience. Let's just put it in there anyway because people want it." But they didn't. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't
Yeah.
think they quite did it justice with what they showed, but I've got faith in them, and I think it'll be a good title. Assassin's Creed makes a return this year after a 2-year break. I'm a massive Creed fan.
Mhm.
I liked Syndicate. Unity got absolutely panned, but I actually quite enjoyed Unity. But the series needed a break. And Origins, from what I've seen, looks It looks good. It looks really, really good, and it's the Black Flag team, and I think that was probably the last most consistent Assassin's Creed game, wasn't it? Black Flag. So again,
I enjoyed
do you
Black
guys
Flag
play
and
much
I
Assassin's
enjoyed
Creed?
Syndicate on an even keel, me, because they were both different games in their own rights. You know, Black Flag had the ship mechanics, and I just loved Syndicate because it was based in London, and I love games that are based in our country because we don't really see it that often. But yeah, going on to Origins, there's some new elements in there, like being able to loot bodies for new weapons. I noticed. There's a little mechanic stolen from Far Cry Primal, having the eagle flying through the sky and tagging enemies for you.
I love that feature, actually. I thought that was really good. Do you think that's going to replace Eagle Vision? Because you didn't see any Eagle Vision, did you, in what they showed? I don't believe.
No, I reckon it'll still be there because that used to just pick up more stuff on your map for you than more than anything, didn't it? Whereas that's a gameplay mechanic for you to mark enemies within your local area. I'm going to assume that eagle's going to have like a couple of 10 to 15 meters radius from you, and it'll fly off.
Yeah, and what do you make of the setting? Because the setting's sort of divided on social media. Some people love it. Some people are saying that it doesn't appeal to them. I actually think it's a good setting. I think it's good that they're going back.
Well, again, it goes back to what I said a minute ago. I absolutely love Syndicate because it was based in London. A setting thing is a personal preference and taste. You know, some people like Indiana Jones because it was set in Egypt and in that sort of area. And other people didn't. You know, it's a taste thing. It's good to see that they are trying different locations with each of the game. It gives the game a whole different feel as well as different mechanics do. So why not? There's no point in keeping a game set in the same location all the time because it becomes boring. It gives them that chance to give it a different, like I said, a different look and feel overall, just by giving it a different colour palette.
And I don't know how true this is. I am only speculating from sort of things that I've read, but I believe that the Animus is nowhere to be seen in this game. It's almost like they're rebooting the franchise with all that Animus and Desmond stuff to one side. They're just going to be focusing on characters in certain times, in certain locations, and that's it. That's going to be the Assassin's Creed going forward.
This is the prequel, though, isn't it? This is how it all began.
Yeah.
So Animus isn't going to be there at all.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. What about you, Bob? Are you excited for Assassin's Creed at all? Did you see much of it?
I'll be honest. I've never really been a massive Assassin's Creed fan. I played a bit of Black Flag, and I liked being in the pirate ships and stuff like that. But when the Assassin's Creed came on, I actually said to Russ, tell us what happens. I'm going to get a drink. So I did miss. I caught the start of it with the eagle and the pyramids and stuff like that, and then I left it. I've never been able to get into it. Even back in the 360 days and stuff, I've never been able to get into Assassin's Creed. One day I will sit down and I'll sit and smash out one of the games and give me opinion on it. But as it stands, I'm not an Assassin's Creed guy.
Do you know what though, Bob? In all seriousness, this could be the game to get you into it. This could be.
Yeah, it could.
It's essentially going to be a re-entry. So people that haven't sort of explored the Assassin's Creed games before, you know, this could be the one that gets them into it, with it being a prequel and everything. And I'm looking forward to that. Another one that sort of came out of nowhere. I'm surprised this didn't leak beforehand, to be honest. Well, it might have done, but I didn't see anything on it. Is Metro Exodus. I thought that looked absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
And again, in 4K, it looks superb. I love the last two games.
Mm-hmm.
You've played them, haven't you, Russ?
Yes,
I know you've mentioned them before.
Proper underdog game as well, the original Metro, when it came out. Nobody knew. Was it 4A games? That's correct, isn't it? Nobody knew who they were.
Yes.
Yeah, 4A games.
And I was blown away by the first one. The story was...
But they were books originally, weren't they? They were novels.
I believe
originally.
So.
That's what they're based on. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the first game was.
What about you, Bob?
I didn't play too much of the second, but yeah, this one looks stunning. Sorry, Bob, you go.
That's all right. I've got the games. We got them, but I got them not long back, didn't I, Russ? They had one of them deals on to get the older Metro games, and I played a little bit of them. I didn't get a chance to sit and put a good day's graft in kind of thing, but I got to play a bit of them. And when we're watching E3, because we're partied up, it came on, and all I could hear was just going, "It's Metro, it's Metro, it's Metro," and he seemed really excited. I actually jumped when the skeleton's head moved, which was possibly the unscariest bit of the trailer. But I jumped.
The big mutated giant like thing jumping at you didn't sort of scare you. It was the moving skull.
I didn't flinch. But the way he looked at the skeleton and the head moved, I jumped and started laughing at myself, and then I was fine for the rest of it. I'm looking forward to checking it out. It looks fantastic, and
I like
that big bear thing.
But me,
was cool. That was so cool.
I like the fact that they've took
Russ.
that sort of Chernobyl style of it, like Chernobyl. You can actually go there now, and this life, the Metro Exodus. They're actually obviously now able to come out from underground, and there's life up on the surface, and plants have started growing again. It's I like that. It's really nice. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am. I've got to say, I'm really excited for it. And the one that I think was probably the game of E3 as a whole was Anthem. Just absolutely superb. The only thing I can say about it is I can understand now why Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't up to scratch, because the team that originally did the Mass Effect trilogy have actually been working on Anthem. Bobby, what were your impressions on it? I know we've spoken about it briefly off air, but you're pretty excited for this one, aren't you?
I'm really excited for this one. It looks absolutely fantastic. When I started watching it, when the trailer came on, I was like, "Yeah, this looks great." And then Russ was a few seconds ahead of us on the stream, and he just went, "Bobby, you're gonna freak out." And then they showed that gun, the Jarrah's Wrath, and I live in a little town called Jarrow. It's nicknamed Jarrah. So as soon as I seen that was me sold. I was like, this is going to be great. It's got a gun in it named after me hometown. It's probably not, but I'm going to say it is. And just overall, the graphics look great. The overall, it just looks. I'm trying to put into words what I think of it. It's a little bit difficult. It's an open world MMO, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I made quick notes on it when I was looking it up. It's an open world MMO, and it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to take a really big dog to come into the yard to top it. But again, we've seen hypes for games before and been let down, so I'm not wanting to hold my breath too much. But it's a bit difficult after seeing what you've seen on the trailer. It does look absolutely fantastic.
Russ, is this one that you're going to trade in for your bum hairs, or are you do you like the look of this one?
I do like the look of it. As Bob was hinting at there, let's hope it's not another Destiny. I think that's what he was trying to get across without actually saying it. It does look like it's got elements...
I didn't want to say it, mate.
It does look like it's got elements of the Division to it, with the the combat and that. Maybe it's a game trying to find that middle ground of the Division and Destiny, because in essence they're similar. Obviously one's first person, one's third person, but it's mass multiplayer online.
How dare you compare?
I didn't compare. I said
Destiny. You just said. You just shut up. Stop talking.
I like the world it's set in. It has a very Avatar feel to the world, the film Avatar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does look really, really good. I'm definitely going to check it
that
out.
Footage of that footage of the player with the rocket boosters on, once he gets into that sort of mech suit, then he goes flying through the jungles and everything. That was when I got my attention. I was like, yeah, this looks ace. But I agree. It's almost as if BioWare have sort of taken a back step and have analysed all of these kind of games like Destiny, Division. They've taken all the best bits of that and they've put it with their quality of story writing from Mass Effect and just put it all together. Now, I'm with you guys. I hope that it lives up to its promise with how it looks and what they've said about it, but you can't help but get excited about it. It does look great.
I just want to sum up what notes were put for Anthem, and I'm not going to swear us, don't worry, but what type of notes when E3 was on. So it says Anthem, open world, swear word exosuits M9, customizable, swear word jetpacks M9, and then holy swear word. And that was the notes we put down for Anthem. That was your Anthem notes.
And if any of our listeners want to guess
so-
what those swear words are, send a postcard or write to us on Twitter.
Yeah. 4 letters begin with F and in K.
What? Frock?
Yeah, that's the one. Frock. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So as Anthem was probably mine and Bobby's game of the show, you've got a different one, haven't you, Russ? What was your one?
I'm not no, because we had this little discussion before, and I was going to agree with you two, but I would say just under, maybe on a par, because we've not actually seen any gameplay as such of it, and that is Beyond Good and Evil 2 from Ubisoft. I was blown away from the diversity of the characters is one. Absolutely fantastic. Little cheeky monkey with his British accent, I thought was funny as anything. The Fu Manchu on the big giant pig at the beginning was excellent. I like the look of it.
Yeah.
I know it was mainly pre-rendered cutscene stuff, but from the hype of the original and this nearly 15-year wait for a sequel for that game, again, let's hope
Has it been 15 years?
It's 15 years next year, I believe.
We are so old.
Oh, man.
So yeah, let's
That
hope
does
it lives
make
up to
you
the
feel
hype,
old.
because the potential is there for another fantastic game.
Yeah, definitely. So, in terms of, we've got on to Beyond Good and Evil 2, and we mentioned Anthem. Are there any other third-party titles that stood out for you guys from the other conferences? You know, EA, Ubisoft.
Battlefront 2. I like the fact that they're adding a story to it. They've completely put me off Battlefront. I'm not having a story. Once I realised it was just an online game shooting each other, I was like, nah. You guys know me. I love my story. So it's a bit weird that
I'm the same.
It's got a lot of inaccuracies with the characters that are available in the footage that they've shown, and a lot of people were crying. It's not canon. It's not canon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what that's about.
And it's very interesting as well. Sorry to butt in, Russ, but it's very interesting how the backlash that the first game got, and kind of the backlash that a lot of these games are getting now, is in terms of the season pass and additional content. And DICE and EA have actually come out and said that all future content is going to be free.
Yeah.
Completely free. Now, Titanfall 2 did it last year. And unfortunately, we've discussed it before, Titanfall 2 didn't sell as well as it should have done, because the game is fantastic. But that started kind of the ball rolling, and Star Wars has followed that. It could be a discussion for another time, but are we starting to see season passes slowly dwindling out, do you think? Or do you think it just be certain titles and certain devs that will do it?
You could look at it down the lines of, we've discussed this before, Rockstar have got their model right. They're releasing free content updates quite regular for Grand Theft Auto Online, but they're subsidising it with their shark card microtransaction thing that they do make a lot of money off. So we may see stuff like that start to be introduced. Come on, EA of all people, I'm surprised they're not already doing it.
It could be a case of stuff that you can either buy loot crates,
but actually they already do it with
early,
they already do it with their Plants vs Zombies franchise, don't they? They have microtransactions. You don't have to purchase them, but they're there, and you can get packs from playing. It may be something they introduce. I see that a fitting model for Battlefront. To get customizable stuff. Again, it all depends on what the license lets them do with customizing characters and stuff. But yeah.
So stuff that can be earned in game eventually, but if you want to get it quickly, you could maybe spend a few quid on getting a crate.
As long as it doesn't become
getting those items
a proper pay to win game, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. What about you, Bob? Anything stand out for you third party wise?
Not that I can just pop out the top of my head.
Skull and Bones from Ubisoft.
I'm quite excited. Yes, Skull and Bones from Ubisoft. We did talk about this. I'm quite excited for it. That's the standalone Black Flag-esque ship game.
It's what everybody wanted.
Yeah,
they obviously listened there, because a lot of people did scream, "Why are you not making a standalone pirate game based off of Black Flag?" And they've done that. Taken the gameplay elements of the ship movements and the way they fire and everything, and made a game out of it that seems to have elements of the seasons that they started introducing in games such as For Honor. The stuff you do while playing it online affects the game. Yep. I did like the little thing right at the end where you saw the Kraken underwater, and then the logo reappeared with a big giant squid arm going through it. The skull instead was a good big bit of hype for it, because everybody loves Krakens in pirate games.
Of course.
You love a nice bit of Kraken, don't you?
Bum ears, mate.
Yeah, for me, it was probably. I mean, I'm a massive FIFA fan. FIFA looks great, as it always does. PES, I'm excited for as well. That's looking good at the moment. But in terms of Ubisoft, I wanted to see more of Far Cry 5, and I don't think they did it justice. I don't know why. I know it's not out till early next year, but I'd have thought they'd have shown a little bit more of that, because that is their leading title, isn't it, really? That's the one that they're kind of leading with anyway.
Yeah, it maybe falls into, because it's already been announced, hasn't it? It was announced before E3, so it was a case, yeah, you already know about this game. Here's a little bit more teaser for it.
Yeah, possibly.
Probably just keeping the cards close to the chest.
Yeah, it could be, without a shadow of a doubt. So at E3 in general, what did you think of the whole event? Honestly, how it all went and everything, what was shown. How does it compare to other years?
There were some really, really good looking games this year, and there was quite a few jaw-dropping moments. I mean, there is still a couple of games. Obviously, we're running out of time now to squeeze everything in that we wanted to, but there is other titles we've not mentioned that are worthy of a mention. We just haven't got the time, and look really good. So yeah, it's that time now, where power and performance is definitely the takeover thing of games moving forward to make them look as good as possible. As long as the gameplay stays, you know me, again, we've discussed this before, gameplay is first and foremost with any game for gamers of our generation anyway. We know games when you were just a single pixel as a character on the screen. As long as the gameplay's there, then I'm all for it. Games going forward and looking as realistic as they possibly can. Lots of arguments from people online, consoles are too expensive, you've got no exclusives, etc, etc. I didn't watch all of the conferences. I watched the ones that interest me, so I watched majority of EA's, obviously all of Xbox's and Ubisoft, and some of the others were just I just didn't get to watch them because of time zone differences.
I mean, Bethesda's show was about 35 minutes long, I believe. They showed Wolfenstein, looks great. They showed what was the Dishonored 2 standalone expansion as well. I'm not fussed for that, to be honest. I was more interested in Wolfenstein, which looks great. And what about you, Bob? What did you think of the show?
To be honest, I thought it was great. Like, I've seen so much negativity on Facebook and Twitter. I've got a friend on Facebook who just kept posting saying, "Oh, this isn't very good. This isn't very good." And it's like, what do you expect, mate? I mean, I don't understand what more people want. We've had a amazing console, the best so far announced. We've had some great games, some exclusives for Xbox. PlayStation have also had some great exclusives dropped for them. What more could you possibly want? But at the same time, they could have announced 50 amazing games.
Yeah.
And you would have still got haters. So personally, I think it was great. It probably wasn't as good as previous years, but I don't think it deserves to be crapped on in any means. I think it was a great E3.
I'd agree with that. I think compared to other E3s, it probably wasn't as good. But what you've got to take note of from this particular one is there were a lot of new IPs shown, and that's what I took from the show, was the fact that developers are coming out with new IPs. And it's worth mentioning as well, because I don't think it got enough coverage, that Xbox had 30 games on show in the Xbox conference that was in which was, I think it was in a 2-minute video segment, and some of the little clips that I saw of that, some of them games look great. So kudos to ID Xbox. They've got some good things coming out there as well. So yeah, brilliant. Xbox One X, I can't wait. Glorious 4K, bring it on. Bobby, do you want to plug the website, social media?
Yep. Check us out on xboxgamerreviews.com. You can tweet at xbox_gr. Just do hashtag Russ's bum here. And we are on Facebook at facebook.com facebook.com/xboxgamerreviews.
Just to let the listeners know as well, Bobby got that right this time because he actually wrote it down.
Yeah, he did.
So anybody that listens regularly to our podcast, everyone will know that it's a regular segment where Bobby gets confused, but he wrote it down today. So well done, Bob. You've done us proud.
Thank you very much.
Russ, do you want to plug the video channels, streaming channels?
Yep. So you can check out our early previews, this podcast, and unboxings, etc., on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/xboxgamerreviews.com, twitch.tv xbox_gamer_reviews, and mixer.com/xboxgamerreviews, which used to be Beam.
Fantastic. Thanks everyone for listening.
Also, don't forget.
Hang on.
Don't forget to check out our club on Xbox. Just search Xbox Gamer Reviews. We never ever plug it, and it started getting quite a few followers thanks to Friday the 13th. So everyone should check that one out as well.
Fantastic. Cheers, Bob. Thanks everybody for listening. We hope you enjoyed E3, and we'll see you again soon. See ya.
Cheers to that.
Bye.